Student Achievement Award. So top students, Velma, Matt, Ginny, and Clyde, are in 4 classes: English, Computers, Physics, and Math at Des Moines High School. They were honored at a pre-graduation ceremony. Match each student's first name, last name, and course. So basically when I made the chart, I took their first names and I put it onto the left side. And then I also got the classes they were in and put it on the top, along with their last names on the top and their last names on the side. So this will help us realize the first name and the last name and what class they're in. Okay, so first let's look at the first clue. The girl who won in computers was also a runner-up in English. So that means a girl won in computers. So that means the guys, which is Matt and Clyde, could not have won in computers. So we're gonna put an X next to their name and corresponding with computers. And we're also gonna put a 1 because that is clue 1 next to the X. And we're gonna keep this tradition going along for the whole entire problem. Okay, so next clue. Sholseth moved to Des Moines 8 months ago and couldn't get into computer class because it was full. Okay, so that means Sholseth, find his name, did not take the computer class. So we're gonna go down this column instead and find computer class, put X 2 because again, this is clue number 2 and we want to keep organized. Okay, clue number 3. Both Sholseth and Clyde were in the same math class with the top math student. So that means Sholseth nor Clyde did not get honors in math. So go to Sholseth and put an X and then 3 next to the X. And same with Clyde. 3. 4. The top English student, the one named Kinsella, and Ginny have lived in Des Moines all their lives. So when we look at this sentence, we have to see that the top English student and the one named Kinsella are 2 separate people. They're not one person. I know many people have made the mistake of thinking they are one person because sometimes when you read this, it sounds like one continuous thing, but it's not. So that means Kinsella and Ginny are not the top English students. So we're gonna go to Ginny first and go to English. And we're gonna put an X and then a 4 because this is clue number 4. And we're gonna do the same thing for Kinsella. So X 4. 5. The boy who won the honors in math barely beat out Macomber. Both boys were runner-up in computer. Okay, so that means a boy had to win out math. So we're gonna put an X next to all the girls' names for math. And this is clue number 5. So right away we see this empty gap. So when you come along to something that has an empty gap, you're automatically going to think, yes, Matt is a top student in math. And once you get it's kind of like tic-tac-toe, so you're just going to put your O where there is no more space. And you're going to do the same thing for this column. So you're going to put an X here and an X here, because this column also corresponds with the math column, because that means Matt could not have been the top student in English nor physics because he is the top student in math. Okay, let's see if we can do anything with the second part of the clue. Both boys were runner-up in computer. So we're gonna go to Macomber's name and we're gonna go to math and just put an X there. And we're gonna put clue number 5. Okay, so this second sentence, both boys were runner-up in computers. That basically means Macomber did not get honors in computers. So we're gonna go to computers and Macomber and put an X5. And the other boy who won honors in math also did not win computer science. Okay, last clue, clue number 6. Perata knew she was close for math honors. So that means Perata, last name Perata, did not get math honors. Okay, we're gonna put a 6 next to the name. So that automatically means, right here we can see there's an empty space, that Kinsella, in fact, got math honors. And so we can just go ahead and put an X in the rest of the corresponding column. Okay, so now we're gonna, obviously the chart is not filled out all the way, but we're just gonna go over these 1 through 6 clues again and try to complete the chart. Okay, the girl who won in computers was also a runner-up in English. So we still don't know who won in computers, and we still don't know who won in English as well. So we can't really do anything with that clue, so we're just gonna go ahead and move on. I'm gonna go on to clue number 2. Sholseth moved to Des Moines 8 months ago and couldn't get into the computer class because it was full. Now, we may think this is irrelevant information that Sholseth moved to Des Moines 8 months ago, but they also mentioned it in clue number 4. They said the top English student, the one named Kinsella, and Ginny have lived in Des Moines all their lives, meaning that Sholseth cannot be one of these people. So right away we know Sholseth did not get English honors. So we're gonna go to Sholseth's name and cross out English, and we are gonna put clue number 2, and we're gonna put a comma because it's also, we got this information from clue number 4 as well. And look at that, we have another open space we can put a O in and cross out the rest of the corresponding column. So now we know that Sholseth did get honors in physics. Okay, so let's finish out the rest of this clue, 2 and 4. We're looking at 2 and 4. So the next thing says the one named Kinsella. And Kinsella is also a last name, so it doesn't really correspond with Sholseth, but Ginny cannot be Sholseth, as Ginny has lived in Des Moines all her lives, and we know Sholseth just moved to Des Moines 8 months ago. So we're gonna go ahead and go to Ginny and cross out Sholseth and do the same thing we did here with a comma. So 2 and 4 were the clues we used for this. Okay, let's go ahead and go to number 3. Both Sholseth and Clyde were in the same math class with the top math student. So what can we do with this? Well, we know that math is the top math student. So that means Matt's last name could not be Sholseth. And that's all we can get from that clue because Clyde is a first name. Okay, clue number 4. The top English, the one named Kinsella and Ginny have lived in Des Moines all their lives. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and skip this one because I think we got all the information we needed from this one. So we're gonna go ahead to go from number 5. The boy who won honors in math barely beat out Macomber. Both boys were runner-up in computer science. So we know Matt is the one who got honors in math. And that means he barely beat out Macomber. Okay, so we can't really do anything with this question either. Okay. Number 6, Perata knew she was close for math honors. Again, we can't really do anything with this question either, but I see that we have an empty spot right here. So Perata is actually got the honors for computer science. So we can go ahead and cross this row out. And then we also know that Macomber got it for English. So basically now our bottom half chart is filled. So let's go ahead and go over to the side and see what we can fill out. Okay, so I'm going to do first name, last, and subject. So first we have Velma, then Matt, then Ginny, and then Clyde. We're going to go to Matt's, and we know that he won in math. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go over the questions a third time to try to fill out this chart and some of this. The girl who won in computers was also a runner-up in English. So we know that Perata won in computers. And Perata has to be a girl because the girl who won in computers was also a runner-up in English. So Perata has to be a girl. So we're going to go over here to computer and see who's left. Velma and Ginny. Okay, well those are both girls, so we can't really do anything about that. Let's go ahead and move to the next clue. Move on to the next clue. Sholseth moved to Des Moines 8 months ago and couldn't get into the computer class because it was full. We can't really do much with that again. Okay, so let's go to clue number 3. Both Sholseth and Clyde were in the same math class with the top math student, meaning Sholseth and Clyde cannot be the same person. So we're going to go to Sholseth's name and put an X and put clue number 3 because he cannot be Clyde. Meaning Sholseth is actually Velma, and we're gonna have to put X's in the corresponding column. Okay, now let's move on to clue number 4. The top English student, the one named Kinsella, and Ginny have lived in Des Moines all their lives. Okay, so we know that the top English student, last name Macomber. The one named Kinsella and Ginny have lived in Des Moines all their lives. So let's go ahead and go to this part of the chart and fill in for Velma since we know everything. So we know that Sholseth won in physics. So we can go ahead and put an O here and cross out the corresponding. Which then just leaves an open in these two columns, making the whole chart complete. But let's go ahead and fill out the rest of these. And the chart is complete. So now we're just going to fill out who won what. Okay, so Matt, Kinsella got honors in math. Ginny, Perata got honors in computer, and Clyde got honors. Clyde Macomber got honors in English. And that is how you figure out a matrices with 6 clues.